All right, talk to Transformer. Let's we should get a custom prompt. Okay. Another Six Flags review? No. Let me tell you a sad story. All right, how many sakes has it been? Let's see. The Japanese can really eat just about anything, from rice and noodles to fruit, vegetables, and more. There have long been delicious Japanese options in grocery stores and home kitchens. If you can't find sake in grocery stores, you're probably getting it shipped to Japan from overseas and is being sold in convenience stores or on convenience food trucks. If you happen to live in Japan, if you're a veteran of the nation, then you probably know where the best sake is. Sake lovers don't need to read the Japanese and need only to look closely to see a big difference with what comes in every Japanese grocery store. Japanese convenience store Sake makes the largest selection of local Japanese sake available in the country and is located in downtown Tokyo. On some days, a selection of sake makes our pick at a grocery store. If you're wondering if it's a sake or just water, we really aren't sure. Sake and water. The most common question we get from our Japanese customers is what kind of sake their Japanese food is. Most don't have a clear definition of what they are calling a sake and how you will know if your product is sake. In reality, we are talking about a whole different animal, our customers are. If you don't know the difference between sake and water, you have like 4 taste buds. Something wrong there. Okay, how about this one? Germa loves sake. On his stream, he drank it all night. Germa loves sake. On his stream, he drank it all night. And in the morning, he goes to sleep in the corner because he can't handle the guilt he's feeling. His father is a well-off industrial billionaire with 3 children, including a son-in-law who has a real estate business. On the first day of school, the boy who plays video games on his computer becomes a boy in school, even if that boy is just 4 years old. His friends become more and more male. His mother has started to notice them and start sending him to the male tutors. Some even start dressing up in dresses, which are so ridiculous but hilarious, and then his father feels ashamed. What? The little boy who can't keep himself from being in a girl's room at all times. What is going on? Starts to see a lot of young, attractive female teachers. I've always been a girly boy, like always. I wanted to be a girl. I would try to be a girl like every day. And now I know that I'm a girl. The fact that I'm always a girl is weird. Despite being in a girl's room at school, the boy loves his favorite sports team. I miss playing basketball. It makes me feel weird when I miss a game, while his favorite movie. Industrial billionaire with 3... Where are the other 3 kids? Where are the 2 kids? Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? That's what I gotta say about that. I met a chat at a grocery store the other day. You like doing this shit to me? Let's do it to you. No. Dad. What the fuck? What did I type? Twitter is a fun website too. For that matter, you'll probably get great deals on new products even with a low user count. Even the biggest name brands like HSN, Sainsbury, and Kohl's sell $12 coffees and tea through Amazon and will deliver for $10. It's a good deal. People still use the Home Shopping Network. I thought that was only for like fucking 80-year-old women and like 95-year-old fucking men. Oh, hey. You know how I know that? Because my grandmother used to buy dolls off of the Home Shopping Network. Those like porcelain dolls that they would put on like the conveyor belt and like move them around. Just like, they'd spin around on like the little Lazy Susan. She used to buy them. There was a lot of dolls in that house. It was kind of scary. Anyways, and it's not a waste at all. Here I am working 7 days a week, which probably gets me at most $40 per week, working 50 hours a week. In reality, what I would work for is less than $1.10 an hour. So I don't lose money on each cup I pour through the funnel on e-commerce sites. Where are you making $1.10 an hour? That doesn't sound like a very good thing. And I spend it well into the future and into the bank. Also, I think it's important to keep the quality of your work and your reputation high. You have to be very careful about how you market your work. I know about these fraud checks. Those don't mean much to me, but to others they are the beginning of the end of your reputation in the community. And you have your own company to prove to customers that you are legit. I'm confident that I will go out and buy a coffee from any online coffee shop within a few months of the first customer checking out my website. Now, your next question that I can answer. $1.10. This shitty view count. I'm just trying to pull like metadata for like views and like Germa. Let's see. No, I didn't mean that. That wasn't like I'm trying to like get like the metadata to like pull info. I don't mean that. I'm trying to get like metadata to like shitty and like view and count and this is a great fucking view count. No, you're taking this the wrong way. You're taking this the wrong way. See? This is why I did this. Here we go. Six Flags is the worst amusement park. Germa985 and his shitty view count sent me there. Anyway, it's an awesome park, but there are many flaws in the ride. It only makes you feel like an idiot if you have to pay for the entire show. There are a few places that can bring back the glory days of the 80s. You can easily find a better one, like the Giants Canyon. It is way too big, too short, and to me too easy to park without trying or paying for. There are even those that would say it is better to use a car and drive all around Germa985's park than visit one of the many places that make this place worth checking out. If you see one of these, you can get yourself in the park and even get a ride, but you won't regret it if you do not like it. And you're looking for a way to save money, then Germa985 offers the cheapest ride of the parks, which means you need to make a reservation. The rides are short, are cheap, and don't disappoint, so you can enjoy the parks without spending tons of money. Germa985 himself doesn't care too much about this, but I don't blame him for that. His ride was great in the 90s, and he does the same thing every year. I've never been disappointed by a ride. They're short. That's why I wrote that. I almost just knocked over the fucking bottle. No, the view count is fucking fantastic. Don't. I didn't mean that. I'm trying to just get the like thing to fuck up. 1 part all-purpose flour, 2 cups baking soda, and 1 hint of sea salt. I also add 4 teaspoons of garlic powder for extra flavor. Then I roll out the loaf by laying it on parchment paper. I then lay it straight back out and cut each section into 4 triangles. Then I start the second portion. I spread the mixture onto a lightly floured surface. Takes an entire sheet of parchment to completely cover it. I put that to work by cutting across the area between each piece of foil. I then take them all back together and roll out the entire loaf into a sheet. And I am back to work. When you come to these 2 pictures just to let things sink in, it is like watching a roller coaster crash through a tunnel. So the dough is just amazing. Not only beautiful, I can't believe how light it is on. Back to Six Flags. Sound the alarms. The Witcher 3 just went on sale today, with the promise that it would be as good as the final product, which is saying something when you are playing a game that is literally being created. So it makes perfect sense that after all the excitement the game had for the last year, the first one came out in 2004. That developer, CD Projekt Red, decided to take their next move and deliver an HD re-release of what they are calling The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. And with CD Projekt Red, it appears the game is going to deliver a stunning conclusion, not just to The Witcher, but to the series itself. And I am not sure whether it should be heralded as such, even though the game already deserves recognition for being one of the biggest, best-liked games of all time, or just a bad game. It is the latter choice that is truly important now, because as the second game is coming out today as a standalone offering, which is far better choice than its previous CD Projekt Red incarnation of The Witcher, you can expect the CD Projekt Red version to be better. Why are there like 2 different versions of this game? I've been meaning to write up a lot of this in my previous article from the same episode of Game Politics Podcast with Tom Stoppard, but I did not have the time at some point this weekend. Game Politics. No. This is... Leo P-Pants. P-Pants' parents, Ray and Anel, have filed a wrongful termination lawsuit claiming their daughter was fired after complaining about how long she worked, and she was denied a job with his company, the Houston Area Network Company. P-Pants, who is a mother of 2 boys, allegedly got in trouble after complaining that she needed to sleep longer than usual on her shift for another project. When she went to the store, her shifts extended into the wee hours. During one of these shifts, P-Pants reportedly fell asleep in her seat, but did not complain and allowed Hanok to continue the project, which was taking its toll on her health. I do not know anyone who takes vacations for any reason except when it's just fun. That is why if there is the slightest opportunity to relieve stress and discomfort, I will just jump on vacation, he told DailyMail.com. P-Pants' former supervisor, James McDaniel, reportedly told her that she would receive less pay until she paid back her rent and a $300 bonus. After P-Pants started working for Hanok, she said she absolutely refused to receive salary increases after being terminated. I was not allowed to speak with Hanok's CEO as she has the power to terminate. Why would you ask for a salary increase? Now, let's get a sad story.
Let me tell you a sad story. My Lego collection isn't complete anymore. I was shopping at IKEA at 9 to 2 on the way home from work one evening, and I saw the shelf on the right with a pile of boxes. As I looked underneath for any items that might actually fit, I kept hitting myself. What do I do with these boxes? Is it better not to have any of them? I decided to grab my collection and find me a box store. At the mall, I found an IKEA display case with dozens and dozens of boxes covered with brightly colored stickers. My imagination raced, making small jokes and getting creative. I walked right up to the display case and picked up 3 boxes marked X7 and 715. You guessed it, they didn't fit in here. Finally, I decided to take a walk across the store to see exactly what made these.
Warning. All Legos pose an immediate health risk. In 2015, more than 13 million toys came in for inspection and maintenance. Some 2 billion toy pieces fell ill with contamination in transit, which can lead to illness. About 1 million of these were children, and a further 10 children were sickened. There have been a series of tests at different toy manufacturers to determine if they have made all changes in the way that they package certain products to ensure that they are compliant. But in each case, they found that, on average, the items remained undamaged throughout the manufacturing process. In addition, many of the changes were made on the assumption that the children's toys would remain safe.
It seems like that assumption is incorrect,
said Michael D. Lipscomb, a spokesman for the United States Consumer Product Safety Commission, which is responsible for regulation for toy safety.
At least some of these pieces that have fallen in line are not actually toys.
The story continues. At least some of the pieces that have fallen in line are not actually toys, but rather sculptures. They don't really look like any sort of real thing. A man holding up a real human skull. The whole thing is really disturbing, and it shows that the concept of toy violence has definitely fallen out of favor in contemporary society. It's really important to note, though, that the artwork on these sculptures is actually just plastic. Most of the pieces were created by artist Robert Court over 30 years ago, though there are some in the collections of museum branches across the world, like the Japanese Kiyoshi Matsumoto Museum in Kyoto. These aren't some cheap toys. I'm not making my point, by the way. If you saw the images and the videos in these slides, you'd probably think that the toys have gotten increasingly violent. But the truth is that toy violence has gone down in the last 50 years or so, but only slightly. It didn't decline. In fact, it has gotten way, way better. I mean, come on, what a great story. The truth is, toy violence has gone down in the last 50 years or so. And that toy violence has fallen under control, said Mary Jane Farkas, professor of child development at the University of Wisconsin, who has developed a method for measuring the number of toys per student for testing toy violence. In those 50 years, the research shows that toys have become a small part of society. I am delighted to report that there is widespread agreement about the problem of toy violence. As recently as 2000, an article in the New York Times Magazine by one of Dr. Farkas' graduate students quoted a leading pediatrician, Dr. Jeffrey Cohen, who stated that a great many children with autism... What? What does this have to do with toys? And there were no safe levels. What? What does this have to do with the toys? Oh my god. This is a fucking risky, scary fucking website.
Why are we always in constant conflict? That is the big question in politics. The question that haunts our lives, our countries, our culture. Because when your side doesn't win, when your side has to come up with something new or new ways of doing things, how do you think about those opportunities? It never seems right. Do people say to you, "What's wrong with you?" Or are you actually afraid every day to lose? You have a job. I had a job before, and it was good. And it was good. And now that I have a job, I am a lot more proud of it now. I am able to get paid in cash. Because I can have a place to stay if my mom wants that, and I can do the shopping. Even when I used to go to the stores and pay $5.50, I was a lot more afraid that they would take off me on a day I didn't have to, because I'm a good customer. And I have a lot of good things working for me now, and I'm very happy. I think there is a lot of resentment, even in people who don't usually like politics, about the way they've become part of the American system. I don't like the way that politicians become a vehicle for a lot of things, which, with its own...
And then they turned his mic off.
Cut his mic.
Nobody starts a speech like this. Nobody goes to the podium.
I come to you today with an epic speech.
No, why would somebody do this?
I'm back. They've put my airwaves back on. I come to you today with an epic speech. I'm not here to be lectured. I'm not here to be lectured on human nature. I am here because I know that with each passing year, the number of... Oh, I come to you today with an epic speech.
Cut his mic. Cut his mic. Cut his mic. Cut his mic.
I come to you today with an epic speech. I'm back on the airwaves. They can't shut me off. These motherfuckers think they can silence me. In the Senate. I'm here, and it's designed to highlight new challenges that we face in dealing with climate change. I understand the challenges posed by global warming. The question I have for you, my fellow senators, is this. Do you believe that those challenges are solvable? Like mumbling together. I don't know. What's he going to say? I don't know. Let him speak. Let the man speak. Silence! Climate change is a question of survival. Today, many parts of the planet, including yours, I'm talking about you, all you fucking aliens, everybody from the planet X41 and global, are facing a changing climate. One of them that I know of is the Mediterranean Sea. As the world's most important trading partner, the United States cannot afford to lose our global position as a major investor. To ensure access to our global trading partners, we need to protect our waters, our marine environment, and our airwaves and coastal areas. The U.S. Senate must commit to a comprehensive approach to managing the risk caused by rising seas, including a plan to reduce our nation's dependence on oil and gas. I urge you today to join me at this historic moment in time when the United States cannot fail to act on global threats, because I know it cannot succeed. In my view, it's that moment in time. This. Cut his mic!
Cut his mic. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. They think they can silence me and get me out of the Senate. What the fuck do they know? They don't know shit. You won't silence me. I am the Senate. I am everything. I come to you today with a story of my intestinal issues that are very important. In May of 2013, I visited a local doctor who prescribed me some generic antibiotics. She told me I needed to increase the dosage, and this is her rationale. Oh, what's he gonna say? Oh, how dare he? I say, Michael, shut up, everybody. Sit down. I said, sit down. If you go higher with this drug because of the symptoms of chronic low-grade sepsis, then you're going to get the same result. I believe her. When I started doing yoga, my skin began itching. As a student of yoga and a student of biochemistry, I know better than to blindly ingest large numbers of antibiotics. The idea of doing an increased dosage of antibiotics to see if the skin response would improve is ridiculous. And I would rather not use such dangerous, powerful, and often deadly medicines. Before I begin, let me share your story. My wife left my family 1 year earlier than I did. We met on the web. She was studying for a certification exam. We were married in September 2012. In early 2012, my wife had an abdominal bleed that I suspected.
Cut his mic. I want to know the rest of the story. So do I. Why do we keep letting this guy back in?
The Senate will now hear Section T47, Article 823(6). Will the senator from Kentucky please reiterate his position? Thank you for your attention. Senator Graham, Senator McConnell. Senator McConnell, just so everybody understands, I've been advised by the Office of the Deputy Attorney General or Deputy AG to defer to the confirmation of Mr. Rosenstein. My position on appointment will remain unchanged. Senator Graham, Senator McConnell. Senator McConnell, I defer appointment until you can get your head around the situation. However, for the record, I remain totally open to the Senate going either way. So I do ask that you will allow me to give the floor time to review any and all options that you have at your disposal, not just the one which you have set out today. I appreciate you, Senator, your consideration and commitment to the rule of law. Now, thank you, Mr. President. I would appreciate the chance.
This is just a boring one. This one sucks. This is a gaffe. German95 is the best stream on Twitch. Twitch.tv/KiddoFly is the best stream on Steam. You should watch the live stream. Good luck. Okay. Whoa. No. Why is that here? Oh, what the fuck? What? Oh, get the fuck out of here. What dog shit? Come on. We're gonna have to do a blank screen beforehand now. Well, I'm really glad that I still have it blacked out. I still have it gone. Because this one wasn't good either. Like, what the? Why are we getting such bad ones now? Alright, this is gonna be fine. Alright. Okay. We're back. My favorite ice cream is the one that tastes totally like ice cream. Without all the chocolate flavor. So all those of you who are craving a little more of that flavor, I'd recommend going for the creme de creme. There's always a good chance you'll find one on sale. You know, my favorite chocolate flavor is the chocolate crave. It's like ice cream, but only fair since it has an added kick of chocolate flavor. Chocolate cream is my favorite, as it's just as tasty as what you'll find at your favorite candy store, only without more flavor since you get the real experience. Finally, you can also find my favorites with flavors of the sweet chocolate ice cream. Like the one you can find at your local Dairy Queen. They can be thick and creamy while still being crunchy and chewy, like the ones we found earlier. So next time you're craving dessert and think about spending some of your money to get ice cream, you may want to check this section out. The takes of the Tomb Raider release date and new DLC content as a result. We're still very excited for our fans to get their hands on a limited edition Fallout 4 t-shirt and collectible Mad Dog figurine. All we need now is to finish our work on the other add-on content for the game. Source official play, that's it. Todd Howard goes 10-0 in Fallout, 76.7% chance of winning. Marlon Brown makes a spectacular play to take the ball out of the hands of a pass rusher. The Rams lose the sack. Darrell Jackson gets tackled. Darrell Jackson is tackled by an unknown player, and the Rams win. The Rams take over for 47 seconds. The Rams score a second touchdown at 11-0. Darrell Jackson is tackled while being tackled on purpose by another unknown player. Fallout 76 Battle Royale mode is going to change everything. A true story set in the time when a nuclear war between Earth and the Red Room was breaking out. And you are the leader of the Resistance. Play as either the protagonist and your trusted henchmen, or as a lone ranger or vault dweller. Each will face different challenges and will encounter different bosses as they go to defend the world from certain forces. They will, of course, be accompanied by their companions, and if everything goes according to plan, your choice as the story's hero will save the day. The game will take place in a post-nuclear world, and every character is completely independent. Their personalities will determine who they become and how it ends with. Your choices will influence a few other people who live in that world and affect your survival and the direction of your adventure may lead, because there really is only a few people that still play this game. There's 8 people on a server. Your choice as a leader will determine the fate of the people here on Earth and whether they will continue forward. The world you play through is a unique and dynamic landscape. And, if you're lucky, you'll find a companion. If not, it isn't out of the question that you'll encounter another. There's plenty of time to take care of your companions if you haven't already. Because that's all you fucking did in Fallout 4. That's the only thing you did. That's all you did. You take care of your town and give them supplies and shit. The action will take place in a huge open world. The entire world will be littered with hidden objects. Somebody wrote, you really weren't kidding. This really is your worst stream. Oh, and I did this fucking card game, and how was I supposed to know? I did my damn best. That's all you can do. What happened on 42? Oh, no, what happened for that one? Can't blame somebody for trying. I still had a good time. It's okay. Can't hit a home run. Sometimes you ground out to the first baseman. I'm like sad. I'm sad right now. Did you at least like think it was a little fun? Well, if you didn't like it, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hope you like the other ones. Hope you like the next one.